So yes, we are here for the Royal Rumble of podcasts. We have got
A lot.
far too many. Yes, far too many. So this will be an absolute mess. Romford Horror Film Festival, as you all know, Nerdly Out Loud, and we are going to sit and chat to all of these people who are all
They're
pretty,
talking about the
pretty drunk.
smell of co-op recyclable bags back there.
So what? Let's go around the seats and let's all introduce ourselves and what we all did on the project.
My name's Alex Churchard. They're talking about biodegradable bags back there, and it's very distracting. Yeah, no, sorry. My name's Alex. I'm involved in this project. Was part of Mary and part of the overall project as well. I'll pass it on to Philip.
Hi, I'm Philip Rogers, and I play the infamous Benny Southpaw.
I'm Mag Davenport. I'm Alex's younger brother and his carer.
Hi, I'm Tom Lever. I made a segment for this film.
My name's Martin W. Payne, and I played the proprietor.
My name's MJ Dixon, and I directed the Eggheads segment.
Oh God, I've got a duck.
My name is Annabella Rich, and I play Ivy in Red Lipped Moon.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep, sorry. Hi, my name's Chris Mills, and I play Carl Carpenter in the Red Lip Moon segment, which I co-wrote with Sam Mason Bell.
Cool. I am Andy Boothby. I did DOP'd on the Video Dungeon and Wraparound and Don't Sit on His Face, and I can't speak apparently.
Because someone sat on your face.
I'm Hannah Patterson, and I play Clara in the Wraparound.
My name's Ron Bayliss, and I put a piece of my work forward for this film, but they didn't accept it, and I'm only here just to say that it's an awful tragedy. To be honest, it was.
You're just here.
It was. I spent a lot of my life on that movie, and no.
So who wants to? This is a wonderful, wonderful anthology that got a really, really good reception in there. Everybody seemed to love it. Who wants to take the question on how this all came together?
I've just seen my brother's haircut. That's. I know I don't have hair, but fucking hell, Max. I know.
Do you want to answer the question?
Yeah. The project originally came together because Sing Lao, he every year at Horror on Sea he puts together a video shop, and every year it gets a little bit bigger and better. And I think a few people mentioned to him, could that be a good idea? Could it ignite an anthology film? From my standpoint, he asked if I wanted to do a segment, and that became Mary. And he often turned up on our sets, took some pictures, and offered his own house up, and we became familiar. Is that right? Oh dear!
Cat's out of the bag.
Fuck's sake.
So you got your funding, wasn't it?
I think I'll pass on.
So my recollection of how I got involved was basically I was walking home from work, or from the train from work, and Lau rang me. So I'm walking from a train station to home. Lau just rings me and says, I've got this idea for a film. It's got this character in it who's going to play basically the owner of a video shop. Okay. And I'd like you to play that character. Right. Any other information? No, that's basically it. And from that, we developed into, well, actually, this character should be a bit old. And I can't remember if it was Alex or Lau that said, yeah, Peter Cushing, antique shop. That sort of vibe. That's what I want. So I just went basically, yeah. Call me in.
What was it like working with the prosthetics? Because have you got a bit of prosthetics on there?
Yeah, I now have, because I don't look this young without them. Actually, shout out for Dave Fox, who did the original prosthetics for Video Shop 1. So that's the forehead, the cheeks, the bags under the eyes, and the nose that all get put on. And I spent between 2 and 3 hours each time getting into makeup. If you've seen the film, you know how it ends. Didn't take 2 or 3 hours to get out of it.
So, back for a minute. Just when I came on, I think Lau already said that he'd cast Martin, and there was this idea that the character would be ancient, and which I thought was really interesting. So that's kind of how that came about. And I think what Mike was alluding to was From Beyond the Grave, the idea that we have these customers that come in, and although we're not following them into segments, we're just going to torture them in the tiny little bit. But that's where the proprietor came from, and when Lau mentioned that we would make him old, I thought, he should be really, really old, and the idea that everything's a bit like twisted and weird. So that's what Martin was mentioning from Beyond the Grave. I think that's what
and in terms of the directors getting everyone together, what was the remit for this? What were you told you were doing, or were you just given free reign to make anything?
Yeah, well, basically, I think it was in lockdown when I agreed that I'll be interested in having a go on some of this, and then it was like November 2021, was it?
Yeah, I mean it was 2020 definitely when originally.
Yeah, he approached us, but then in 2021 the teaser posters came out, and then there's my name on there, and I'm like, oh.
Committed.
I'm doing this now then, I suppose. Remit wise, no, but that I think the point was that he wanted just to do whatever we wanted, really. But even though, in the back of our minds, it was like we've got to keep this to a reasonable run time, and that's where I learned the value of timing your script, which I didn't do this time around. So I ended up with something that was I thought was far too long, but I don't know. I don't know what anyone else thought on that one.
Do you not always think that though? Like, and you're all directors and creators, so it's like, do you not always look at your project and think that's a bit too long, or it's a bit in that area? Like,
I'm very critical of my own stuff, so that's just the beginning, I think.
Tom's a absolute perfectionist, but absolutely, Tom sent me his scripts, and I was really honoured that he'd done so to play the character, which was an embittered artist. He was an alcoholic and a divorcee, and everything had gone wrong for him in his life. And I it was perfect for me. It was in my wheelhouse, and Tom would obviously realise that. No, sorry, that's a joke. I hope. Blimey. God, this is going to get me in trouble. Don't put this out, actually. No. But no, Tom sent me the script, and I just thought it was so funny, and it was what everyone goes through if they work in the indie horror film industry, which I've been working in for sort of like 20 years. Is that if you're trying to get something out there and you work really hard on something, and and you can get fucked over by distribution and producers and all that kind of stuff. And I think Tom's voice spoke out for a lot of people, and but also it was really funny. Sorry, I got a bit dark there. Jesus, I've gone wrong now. But actually, that was the worst thing. Tom, when he asked me to go on set, said that I actually had to make my own head glow on set, and that was the hardest thing. he said, "I don't mind what you do, you know." And he was like this. But as long as you make, he's like, "You're making a comeback, Henty, and I'm making this big for you." Do you know what I mean? As a young director, you know, like coming up. And he said, "But if you can make your head glow on set, that's all right." And so I spent the whole of lockdown, actually a couple of years, trying to make my head glow in order to be in Tom's film. When I eventually did it, it drained me. I'll be honest. It drained the life out of me. But Tom, as the director, was really pleased. And he was like, "Oh, you're doing great. Just make your head glow a bit more." And he was just like, "Yeah, that's great."
Yeah, of course.
That's it. And at the end of it, I just collapsed. And Tom was just walking over my kind of collapsed body on the floor. He was just like, "Yeah. Yeah." He's like, "You did it, Si, now." And he was kicking me out the way like that. He was just kicking me out the way. "You've done it now, Henty."
Is it bad that I kind of
over.
don't want you to stop talking?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, pass it over to somebody else.
Egghead. Yeah. That wasn't me insulting you, by the way. Where
I take it as a compliment.
Where the hell did that idea come from? Where did that?
Lal, very similar to Tom. I got a poster went up that said, and it had like Tommy Lee wrote MJ Dixon, and I'm like, oh, excellent. Wonder what this is. And then about an hour or so later, I got an email, like a message on Facebook. Saying, "Oh, you want to do a thing for Video Shop Tales of Terror?" And I said, "Oh, well, what is it?" And he said, "It's, you know, a bunch of trailers and kind of like short films and things like that." And at the time, we'd been making a series of trailers called April Fool's Day, which was just like, you know, a couple of minutes long, and we'd get as many people as we could together and just kind of write a stupid trailer around it. Martin had been in one of them. You know, we'd kind of like, you know, it was like a kind of collaborative project that we do every so often. So I assumed that that's the kind of thing he wanted. So I'd go out, it was during lockdown, so I'd go on my kind of half-hour walk every day, and just walking around thinking of all these stupid egg puns and going, all right, yeah, that's got legs and a shell, you know. And I was just walking around thinking of all these stupid egg jokes, and I thought, you know what? I can write a bunch of egg puns for 2 minutes and cut, you know, quick, you know, he looks in the mirror and it cracks. Oh, I'm so funny, you know. And I'm walking around thinking all this. Yeah, I thought it's great. So I come back and I type it all up into like a 2-page script to make this trailer, run it by Anna. She said, "Oh, it's great, you know. And then time kind of ticks on, and I messaged Lal and just said, "How long do you want these things to be, thereabouts?" He went, "About 15 minutes. I was like, oh, crap. So I basically had to take this 2 pages of puns and then like write interconnected scenes between them. And that's kind of, I guess, where the film came from.
Class. And the Red Lip Moon, let's talk a little bit about that. So this is like a detective noir kind of thing, and very different to a lot of the other films in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get involved, and how did this come about?
Well, so it was working with Sam Mason Bell, one half of Trash Arts, and yeah, let's get a little bit of a shout out going there. I'm not going to speculate on whether Sam or Jackson is the art or the trash. Well, we'll leave that up to the audience perspective for now. Yeah, but if you know those guys, you can probably make your own guesses. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we love them to pieces. Yeah.
I like how everybody says something so convincingly and then immediately backtracks.
Yeah. It's almost like we're trained in this. But yeah. Yeah. Quotations there. But yeah, no, we well, basically Sam and I sat down to write the Red Lip Moon together, and he was like, "So like I've got this feature script, but obviously, you know, a feature's going to be way too long for a segment, and I really want to do something kind of like noir, like something a bit, you know, kind of like, you know, a bit gritty and everything." And I'm like, yeah, yeah, let's do it. That sounds awesome. That's right up my street. And he was like, okay, is there any like characters that you particularly want to play or anything? And I was like, well, I mean, I'd love to play a detective. Like, especially if it's a noir vibe going on. I'm like, yeah, cold stoic, yeah, let's fucking go. Yeah, so we kind of sat down, started writing that, and then Sam got like the email from Sing about the needing the poster, and we were kind of like, okay, cool. We still haven't read the thing yet. So
is that literally how we got everyone involved? You just put a poster out there?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, as far as I'm aware, unless anyone else has got a different intro story.
We did the wraparound before everyone shot, so I think there was a thing of. Can we please have your case? We do need your case now.
Like my case is like.
Yes, the one on screen is not the one. Yeah. I think that's generally the vibe. Yeah.
But that in turn, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from any of the other guys, but that gave us personally a lot of creative freedom in terms of deciding what we wanted to do, and like the fact that Sing wanted and selected people to be involved with this meant the world to us, but also gave us that creative freedom and that kind of confidence in the project as well. So we were all like, let's get this done, let's get it going. But no, it was really good fun. We shot it over 2-3 days, I think it was. Several locations like in and around Portsmouth. Sam knew exactly how he wanted it shot, the style of where he wanted to go and everything. So then it was just cherry picking some locations and getting in there and getting it done. So it was a brilliant experience. And obviously massive thank you to Sing for getting us all involved. And big thanks to Romford for having us as well. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you, and you've all got many films in the festival this weekend. And Annabella, you're in Eating Miss Campbell as well on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So what was the difference between making like a full feature and making sort of like a short for you as an actress?
Oh, that's a hard question.
No, it's not. It's an easy one.
Well, it's just kind of the days on set, really. When you go to a short, it's kind of like, okay, I'm like walking in for 1-2 days, and you have to kind of do that character progression. But I'm quite fortunate in this one that I only appear in it a little bit compared to Campbell, where I'm like, I need to get to this, to this, to this. And I was like, and because my condition on one of my scenes in there was like, I'm going to be the most annoying person you're ever going to see. And that was my condition. I was like, you're going to want me to shut up. So, yeah. Don't know if they even answered the question. Probably not. A couple of glasses of wine in.
That's fine.
Yeah.
and another character that everybody seemed to love in there, Mr. Benny Southpaw.
Woo! Yeah! Benny! Come on, Benny.
Tell us a little bit about this guy.
You can't call him Benny, he's Mr. Southpaw. Sorry.
Yeah, Benny was kind of a weird concoction, but he wasn't based on anyone in particular.
I mean, I was going to skirt around that and not ask the question, but if you want to go for it.
But no. Yeah, I think I contacted Tom about being one of his films, like Tales of Superstition, it was originally. And he messaged me back saying, I've got this character, he's like a sleazy producer. And I just sat down for a couple of hours, wrote a bit of dialogue out, and I went back to him and just gave him this.
We used it, didn't we?
Yeah, just used this really South London cocky arsehole, really.
That kind of intro that you have was kind of your audition.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wrote in that bit. Yeah, just sort of. Cause I don't think Tom did home swear before that, had you? Quite polite and posh.
You heard you speak because you're very unassuming.
So I just started it and said, "Oh, you're a fucking cunt," and that was it, really. And that's what. Can we swear on this? Okay, that's all right. Oh my God!
Let's be honest.
Already have taken us over.
It kind of went off the rails right at the start, so don't worry about that.
Oh, so fuck it. Yeah. Well, that's it.
No, well, the way I see this kind of indie game that we're all playing is like, if anyone wants to have a go at doing something, then they should have the right to have a go and do it, And Philip did send me this video, and I just thought, wow, I've never seen Philip like that before, so he should do this.
Do you know that Phil was a bouncer in Basildon? so he knows.
He basically made it his own. Philip has made the character his own, and so therefore he is Benny Southpaw, and he does whatever he wants with it.
Yeah. Thank you. And a little bit from our video shop clerk who helps the proprietor. You want to tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah. So I play Clara, and she's a bit of a bitch. Yeah. She's really she hates her job. And she's really sullen and stroppy. Like I said earlier, not really a lot of acting involved because I'm quite stroppy, as anyone that would know me would attest to. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I've got quite a natural resting bitch face, so. But yeah, it was good fun.
Will you be returning in the sequel?
Yes, because Clara. I don't know if I.
Go for it.
Are you allowed to tell us?
Clara becomes the proprietor of the video shop.
Nice.
Nice.
I like that.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think she's a model employee.
You can't just sit there and say tease it to a woman.
Yeah. Well, Clara's not a model employee, so I think it probably goes tits up. There's a really good scene that we filmed for the sequel, and it was just I was watching it from because Clara's not in the scene, but it was just like mania. So there's like Benny's in there. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Like it was wild. There was everything going on, but yeah. Yeah.
The idea of the sequel is that Clara has taken over the video shop, but Martin has inadequately trained her, and therefore he might have to come back.
Nice.
And so she's been working the video shop for maybe a week and has put all the dead people to work as the employees, and they are stacking the shelves upside down. But yeah, terrible delegation. So that's the plot. Martin has to come back and train, or the proprietor has to come back and train Clara. And what she does is just sits on a sun lounger while the zombie employees fan her, basically. Hannah got to play more herself in the second one.
An exclusive for you there.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to wrap this out a little bit now. I do want to ask the directors in particular and the actors as well. What's your favourite thing when you watched this on the screen tonight? What was the one thing you saw on the screen that you thought, man, that was awesome?
Benny Southpaw.
Yeah, you're a little bit biased, aren't you? I mean, to be fair, for me, it's a load of the practical effects. Like I really like a lot of the makeup that was done, like not only through our segments, but just through all of them. Absolutely huge fan of the practical effects.
Well, you of course did the model of the outside of the video shop, which I absolutely
adored.
So
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, you're all clapping this, but I mean, like,
No, everyone.
I was going to say, like, well, please, if you let me finish. What I was going to say.
You're going to ask us to clap some more.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, the thing is that instead of, like, I don't know, getting a wife or a girlfriend, I have spent my time making models and that. So it's a sacrifice, but you know, you make sacrifices for your art. Exactly. So it just is what it is.
Are we going bigger and better? Or?
I mean, not after that comment.
It's got a lot of free time.
Yeah, no, to be fair, like, hopefully, it's one of those where, I don't know, it kind of depends on what else Alex gets me to do. So to clarify, as well as being his carer, I pretty much just do whatever he tells me to when it comes to, like, his segments, like, whether it's, whether it comes to, like, co-directing or, like, I don't know, sorting out, like, fake skin so that someone can be flayed, that sort of thing. He just kind of texts me and I get it done.
You're his dog's man.
Yeah, pretty much.
You
So
gotta have one.
yeah, so we'll see. Depends on how big he wants me to go. I guess. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the second one. Who's going next?
I think speaking as one of the directors of one of the segments, we all go in with so many insecurities about what we've done because we've done it on such a low budget, and we all have expectations of how it should be. And when you're looking at it on your editing software for the millionth time, you just have these ideas in your head that keep niggling at you. But seeing it on a cinema screen, it just all melts away. It looked so good tonight, and I'm really chuffed.
It's why I always like to ask this question, because I know that creators like yourselves always you only see the negative. So I like to find out what you saw on the screen and you just thought, man, I fucking smashed that. And yourself?
I was going to say the model of the video shop. But that's already been said. So, but it was that, you know, you don't see all of the filmmaking going on. You see the stuff that you're in. You see what then becomes the outtakes of the stuff that you're in, but then there's also these other pieces like the video shop itself, which I really liked when I first saw it at Horror on the Sea. Paid more attention this time, and I think Alex told me that actually in the windows the posters change each time, and I was looking for that. So something to look for in the film. However, it's not anything that I saw tonight because it's an outtake, and it's when Laurence Harvey just comes in for his hot dog, and he really stuffs it down his face. And kudos to him for doing that. You know, I'd balk at that, and that's saying something. But it's also the fact that when he first asked for it, the outtake is him just going, he fancies a nice, fat, juicy dog.
I mean, how can I?
You might as well have just dropped that.
I know. I will say that seeing, like, you know, like you were saying, you see the mistakes that you've made. I will say that there's nothing quite like seeing your film on a 50-foot screen to when you suddenly for the first time go, there's a nice boom shadow I missed in all my all my editing. But no, I mean, I hate watching stuff I've directed on the screen. I'll take any opportunity not to watch it. But the beauty of this is that mine's on first, so then I get to just sit and watch everybody else's things, and I have a really good time. So yeah, but it's watching everyone's work come together like that, pun intended, is yeah, it's good. Awesome. It's great.
So when I watch this film, and it's what I'm so proud of everyone who's involved, because you can absolutely tell that everyone put in like 150% into everything. The budget looks a ton higher than what it was, and that is just because everyone pulled their weight, did more than they could possibly imagine, and it's just awesome to watch. And like, you should all be so proud. You talk about the mistakes of it, but like, sitting here as someone who was essentially not creatively involved in that way, I'm like, it looks so good, guys. Like, you're like, oh, the mistake on this. It's like, no, you can tell you poured your hearts into it, and everyone you had around you poured their hearts into it too. And it's just amazing, and I can't wait to see the trilogy and see what everyone does, because like, this is the first step of something that's gonna be and is bloody awesome. So honestly, well done to all of you.
So nice. That's our main point.
Well, we got to balance it, right? I mean, one of my favourite parts was just seeing the way that everyone's characters have interacted and the way that everyone's built their characters. Like, obviously, like, you're watching it as an actor and a writer, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh god, did I do a good enough job? Like, did we make the piece come together? Like, is it gonna look like, you know, we thought it would, kind of thing? And you watch the edit back, you know, like MJ said, you know, in the edit you're like, okay, I think that works. Yeah, I think we did good. I think we did good. Did we do okay? Yeah, I think we did it okay. All right, sweet. And then, like Bella said, you know, everyone's put their all into it, and you can tell that from their segments. And you know, even though you said you weren't creatively involved in that way, like, you still gave your all in the performance, and you know, that was one of the things that contributed to our, you know, segment going off as well as it did, I think. But one of my favourite things is seeing everyone's cameos. Like, I absolutely love a good cameo. So seeing all of those pop up, and I was like, who's that person? Oh my god, yeah, I think that's one of the directors. Oh, that was fucking sweet. Like, yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed those. But like, just watching the way it all came together, like seeing the way that it flowed with the wraparound story as well. Because obviously, when you're shooting your bit, you're just shooting your bit. You know, so you see your bit come to fruition and reach, you know, that stage of completion, and then you're like, okay, cool, I hope it fits. Like, I hope it fits with everything else, you know. And then you watch it and you're like, oh shit, yeah, like everyone else did such a fantastic job as well, that it's like, you know, like, all these films that are vastly different, with vastly different like original concepts, have all managed to slot together. And like Bella said, that's testament to everyone putting the work, time, and effort in. And it's just it blows my mind to see what a group of like-minded creatives can do individually, and then the way they bring it together as well. Like that's something special.
Oh, Christ. My favourite part of it, or one of them, there's a fuck ton of them, it was filming Tony Marden's ejaculation face. Because there's a lot of this film, or a lot of times where I've actually filmed him.
And he kept doing that face.
It
even
kept-
when we didn't want him to do it.
Yeah. And it was in the Don't Sit on His Face segment, like fake trailer, there's a part where there's a drill. Spoiler alert, there's a Don't Sit on His Face. It's about a guy who's got a drill coming out of his mouth and he's going down on his woman, it goes through her. And it was just, whenever I see that, I just remember sitting next to Tony, 2 o'clock in the morning, him in Woman in Biz was the in a woman, he had his head inside her. I mean, he was basically inside her. Me and Tony on the side, we film porn. No, please cut that. Please cut that. Not true. No. Thank God. I mean, have you seen Witches? It's basic. No. My point. Let's get to the point, Andy. Was filming This is why I don't do public speaking. So I can't form sentences. Somebody sit on my face. Yeah.
To be fair, you filmed worse.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No, I don't mean like worse.
I've got a
as
habit of filming. Okay. So what I was going to say was Tony Marden, me and him on a bed, 2 o'clock in the morning. Bed's covered in blood. We've got Biz there, her vagina in, fake vagina between her legs. Tony Marden with a drill. We took about 2 hours to get this one shot of this drill going into her fake vagina and getting the blood to come out just right, which Alex, who edited, did not use the shot of the blood coming out. We spent an hour and a half getting that. And you don't include the bit we spent ages on. It works. The uncut version. It's just. But filming worse would be.
All I mean is, I watched a movie where you film like somebody's junk with
Yeah,
magnets on.
that was an interesting Libra. Yeah, filming a guy's dick with magnets
going
on.
into a vagina is quite tame.
Yeah, that's quite a statement. Filming a vagina going to a drill, comes out of her mouth. Hey, but yeah, filming. That was basically, if you can imagine, that film came about with a conversation with guys in a pub. What would be quite funny to make? Most of it from Tony Marden. The maggot on the dick was Mike's idea. It originally was going to crawl across it, but then Mike was like, on the day, was like, what if we just have the maggots, what if I'm wanking, and then I'm standing up, so the sock comes into the camera, I've got it like, his dick is right in my face. Like, again, I filmed this guy naked many times. Dick's right in my face. My own personal collection, yes. That's back to the films we made with Benny Southpaw's earlier career. So we filmed this guy's dick, and it pulls it back, and the maggots are just crawling across it. I think one of them falls off. I gagged to shit. Ruin the take. So we have to do it again. I mean, I did not bring this up. Different film.
Yeah, to be fair, that was my fault.
Yeah, you cut that out and put that into a different segment if you're gonna.
Oh
do
no,
it.
it all stays. It all stays.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry. Video shop. The favourite part would have been Hannah's character. Yes,
Is that how we're funding the sequel?
That's the aforementioned porn he was talking about.
I think I'm having an existential crisis after Andy's answer. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't have any original thoughts. But like, I think my favourite part is how modest everyone is, and they're like, "No, mine was rubbish." Not I don't mean it's like false modesty. Everyone said like, "Oh, I noticed this, I noticed that. Mine's no good." And then you watch it, and kind of like everyone else has said, it's so good, and everyone's like, and it's just nice to see people come together, and people like, I don't know, it's kind of echoing what everyone else has said, putting their all into making these films, and they all just came out so great.
Hello. So, yeah, God, the whole maggot dick thing was okay. Yeah, I did see that. Although Tony did say to me that I thought it was quite beautiful. That was like the idea was that the maggot would crawl over the kind of helmet of the dick, like a kind of cowboy walking over the edge of the horizon, and he couldn't quite get that shot, so he had to change it. But that's a different film altogether, so we're not going to talk about that. But all I was going to say was, from my perspective, all I would say was, back in the early noughties, I did some films with Pat Higgins, and it was lovely because there was no budget, and we all got on set, and we just we tried to make a vision come true, for what he wanted to do. And now I see, and what's really lovely now is I see a new collective of filmmakers, like indie filmmakers, that are doing the same thing and making amazing stuff on no budget, or very low budget, and they're making amazing stuff with amazing people. And it's a family thing, everyone mucks in together, and doing Tom's film, on Tom's film, it was so funny. It was so funny because I fucking gave my heart to that film, and then Tom said, no, you got to go and shave your beard off, and you're going to have a moustache, because we've got to do this earlier scene with Danny where you're just going to look like this, in a beret and stuff, and you're just going to look like this kind of thing. So I went down with Steve Sibley, who I don't know if anyone knows, but yeah. So he took me down to the Premier Cinemas here, to the Bog, and he said, he said, "Oh, is it all right, man?" He said, "It's okay if this guy's an actor. We're filming upstairs. It's okay if he goes and shaves his beard off in the toilets." Bear in mind I was covered in blood at that point as well. So I went into the Premier Cinemas toilets, and I'm there, and I'm trying to, and there's no mirror in there, so I'm desperately trying to shave my beard off to get up for the final scene. I know Tom's stressed out, because Tom's like, we, how long have we got this place for? It was like, sorry, Tom, sorry, but it was like we only had like half an hour, and we were going to get chucked out. So I've got to shave my beard off. So Sibs takes me down there, and then Sibs leaves. So I don't know what Sibs is doing, but he's gone out for a fag or something. So it's like he's got me into or something. So he's got me into the toilets. So there I am in the toilets, covered in blood, shaving my beard off, and a guy walks in, and he's obviously just gone in to see a film. So he walks in, and there's this weird guy covered in blood, shaving his beard off in the toilets at the Premier Cinemas, and the guy was just fucking terrified, and he was just like, "Who's this fucker?" He's like, "What's he doing? Changing his identity because he's committed a murder? I don't know what's going on here." So Steve left me, and I'm looking around. I'm like, "Where's Steve? Where's Steve gone?" Steve just disappeared, and this guy came out, and he just like moved away from me. He's like, "Oh fuck." However, I did manage to shave my beard off and go up and film the final scene with Tom, which was good, and we got it done. But it was a but that's the, I mean, that's the madness and the hecticness of low budget filmmaking, isn't it? That sometimes like we get in these crazy situations, do you know what I mean? And the general public are like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know what I mean? They're like, these people are mad. But we carry on doing what we're doing because we love our art, and we just continue to do what we do, and we'll do it forever because we love it. And it's not about the money, and it's not about anything else. It's about the creation of our artistic ideas, and that's what we believe in. Sorry.
Could have just led with that last bit.
I feel like we should have ended on that, but no. For my part, the best part with Mary was working with my brother and working with James and Charlie, who are amazing, and with the wraparound, working with my wife Hannah Lau, who is so important, and who is one of my favourite actors, and boss of my favourite actor is Martin. It's just fun. Like it would, those guys are easy. With Andy, I love Andy's weirdness, and we were, and for me as well. Like I came off of like doing a couple of films where it was me and another guy, and we directed, and we were the cinematographers, and I had to sort of figure out what my next steps were. And so Andy was the first cinematographer that I kind of worked with, and it's weird at first, but I love him. He's a fucking weirdo, but I love him. But yeah, so I love the collaboration, the weirdness, working with Hannah, working with Andy, working with Martin, working with Charlie, working with James and Ross and all the other freaks that we worked with.
It's a fantastic group of people that you had on this. It's a great thing that you've all done, and you've got to finish this, so finish strong.
I think we should say as well for Danny Thompson as well, who's in most of the features in this one. I think 5 of the 6. She had a big mention. I think she was amazing. The characterisation she's done throughout. So yeah, leave her out.
I agree on that. Danny did an amazing. I lived in Essex for 17 years, and I know that Phil lives in Basildon and etc. But what was amazing was when I had the stocking mask over my face. We had Phil and Danny walking through the car park, and they were just doing this argument between a boy and a girl. And she's like, "Oh, you fucker, you know." She did it, Benny, and he did it so well. She did it so well. There were people in Romford that actually thought it was just a normal argument. There were people getting out of their cars and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a Saturday. That's a Saturday in Romford. We ain't got it. No one's turning her head, you know what I mean? Because they did it so well. It was so natural and it was so hilariously brilliant. But it was just like a great acting role from Danny, but also from, I must say, from Phil was incredible in inhabiting those characters that they'd obviously met before, but I guess they were actual people. There were people in the car park were like, yeah, it's just normal, just get on, love, don't get involved. Leave him, it's not worth it. They're having an argument. Sorry, I've shut up. But yeah, it was a great performance by you and Danny, I must say, in Tom's film.
And Danny's in like everything, isn't she? She's just in the whole thing and like everywhere. It's brilliant. But yeah, do you want to
Gets around a lot, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be saying that. But yeah, so we showed Video Shop Tales of Terror tonight. Guys, thank you so much for submitting it. Thanks for getting together as a group and making something so great. And I can't wait for more people to see it. He's still doing more festivals, or
yeah,
awesome.
We've got Derby next month, and then hopefully beyond as well. So yes,
awesome.
And on Blu-ray now,
and then Netflix and everything.
And Netflix, oh, yeah.
Cans.
Netflix.
Cans is coming soon.
And Alex, did you not give out a leaflet at the beginning
Yes,
of the screening
yes,
tonight
you
with
can
a QR
pre-order
code
the-
so that
pre-
people could go and order
You can
there?
pre-order the film. Yeah,
Very
you can
nice.
pre-order it. It's coming out in November. So yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys. This has been fun. if anything.
It's been time out of my life.
Hopefully soon. I think Alex has had enough.
Let's get rid of these guns.
Right, thank you guys. It's been awesome.